You don't need an education, get a job. After you graduate from high school, my parents said, planning to work me like a slave. I couldn't stand the idea of living like that forever. I'm going to get away from them no matter what. Little did I know my actions at that time would drastically change my life. My name is Fiona, and I'm 40 years old. I live and work at a hotel owned by my Uncle Henry. I'm not a part-timer, though. I'm the front office manager. It's been over 20 years since I first came to this hotel, all because of an event I would rather forget. Today, I want to share that story with you. I was born in a very ordinary rural town. My dad was a regular office worker, and my mom was a housewife. We were just a normal family like any other, with a fair share of love and care. But my life changed when my brother, 10 years younger, was born. Finally, a boy. Now our future is secure, my parents rejoiced. Dad's family home was just an ordinary house, not involved in any special business. In the countryside, boys were still favored. Girls, well, you invest in them, but they eventually leave home, they said. But a boy stays and brings home a hard-working wife. It didn't take long for them to start neglecting me. Of course, I was happy to have a little brother. Being 10 years older, maternal instincts kicked in, and I wanted to take care of him. But my parents warned, don't you dare get too close to him. Who knows what you might do to our precious boy? They would leave cheerfully, leaving me behind. Daniel, as they named him, was adored by my parents much more than they ever cared for me. Let's get dressed, Daniel, and go out today. We'll buy you anything you want, they would say, leaving me behind with chores. Fiona, you stay and do the chores. Clean, do laundry, and prepare dinner. You're not as endearing as Daniel, with those words left hanging. I was desperate to be liked by my parents. I made sure to follow their orders and behave in a way that wouldn't upset them. But a certain truth came to light. My parents' affection never returned to me. Daniel desired games, clothes, and toys without limit, and my parents indulged him endlessly. Then a certain truth came to light. Daniel is really smart, you know, like a gifted child, they discovered. Gifted, meaning born with high intelligence and exceptional abilities, according to Mom. A medical checkup revealed his IQ was higher than kids his age. He is a genius. We have always suspected it from his birth, they boasted. Indeed, you are our true child. We look forward to your future. My parents became even more doting towards Daniel. Their pampering of Daniel intensified, taking him on trips to stimulate his curiosity and spending lavishly on his education. The amount of money spent on Daniel was more than a regular salaried family could afford. The expenses strained our finances, and our household quickly fell into poverty. In their desperation to provide him with the best learning environment, my parents borrowed heavily from relatives and friends, and as I was graduating high school, the worst was thrust upon me. You don't need an education, do you? Once you're done with high school, start working and bringing money. I had never imagined that I would be denied college to fund Daniel's education. I want to go to college and study. However, my parents were furious at my words. Our family isn't wealthy enough to waste money on someone useless like you. Your grades aren't even that great, so don't be selfish, they said. That's right. Investing in Daniel is obviously a much better choice than wasting money on you. Still, I pleaded desperately with my parents. But their words were final. We have no use for someone who doesn't contribute. Our pride is all we need. With that, my spirit was crushed. An unwanted child that day, I cried bitterly, cursing my unjust fate amidst my tears. I remember the hotel run by Uncle Henry, a place we often visited before Daniel was born. I was happy and loved by my parents back then. With those memories, I found myself heading towards Henry's hotel. Fiona, is that you? What happened? Henry and Jennifer, cleaning the front entrance, rushed over as they noticed me. Overwhelmed with relief and shame, I broke down in tears. They patiently listened to my story. After I poured out everything, Henry said, "Is that so? You have had it rough, Fiona. Why don't you work here?" "Oh, what? We're always short-staffed. If you don't want to be at home, you can work here." Henry smiled and probably contacted my parents. "I'll take care of Fiona from now on. You can do as you please with her. Just send us the money," they responded. "Understood, but as an apprentice, she'll earn $600. "That's the most I can offer," Henry said. "600? That's too little." Look, I'm not doing this out of charity. I'm hiring an inexperienced worker. She'll live and work here, so we'll take care of board and lodging. After deducting that, $600 is what's left. It's fair enough. Henry was firmer than usual. I worried if I was about to be put in a terrible situation. Was Henry's kind smile justified? Such anxieties crossed my mind. Despite hoping my parents would object to such conditions, they agreed. Fine, we need the money anyway, but make sure you write a contract stating you won't complain about how we do things. That's how I ended up with Henry and Jennifer. Don't worry, Fiona. Everything will be fine now, Henry said. But I wasn't ready to just start working. I really wanted to go to college. Of course you will. What about making studying and enjoying college life? Your job here, Jennifer proposed. Is that really a job, though? I was full of questions. Jennifer affirmed Henry's idea. Yes, you'll have plenty of time to work when you're older. For now, enjoy being young. So, after graduating high school, I went to college, helping out at the hotel during holidays. Fiona, you're so skilled. Why don't you try some crafts? Really? I would love to. Fiona, we're having steak for dinner tonight. You like that, right? Really awesome. Henry and Jennifer, who had no children, treated me like their own. After graduating from college, I decided to work at Henry's hotel. You don't have to feel obligated to stay here. There are other places you could work. No, I love this hotel. I want to work here and learn more than I could at any outside company. Henry and Jennifer were moved to tears by my words. The tough times I spent with my biological parents seemed distant compared to the joy I found at the hotel as an employee. Henry and Jennifer became stricter, but I was happy to be treated as an individual and didn't mind the hardship. 10 years had passed since I arrived at Henry's. Daniel must be in high school by now, I reflected. 10 years ago, denied college and funding, refugee here while reminiscing, I continued cleaning the guest rooms. Then, "Hey, what's going on here?" That was a familiar voice. I turned towards the voice and saw my parents, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. "Where's the money? This month's payment hasn't been made. What's the meaning of this? Where is she? She's supposed to be working properly, right?" They demanded of Henry and Jennifer. "Come inside," Henry said with an unusually stern face, while Jennifer looked at my parents with cold eyes. The 5 of us, including my parents, Henry, Jennifer, and myself, sat down to talk. Dee was the first to speak. "What's this about? Fiona's salary should be sent monthly. Why hasn't it been done this month? We need that money. Daniel is going to college next month. How are we supposed to pay for it without that money?" Be worried. Is Daniel going to a private university? I felt someone detached from their conversation. "Remember the agreement. You promised not to interfere with our employees' matters," Henry replied unwaveringly. "That's financial matters, preposterous. Fiona is our daughter," my father retorted. "It's quite something for you to say that after neglecting her for 10 years, only caring about the money," Jennifer coldly responded. But their focus remained solely on financial matters, like a broken record. "Just give us the money. Do you have any idea how much college costs?" "Calm down. Daniel is going to work at the hotel starting next month," Henry revealed. "What?" Even I was surprised by this announcement. "How come Daniel is going to work here?" my parents questioned. "I received a call from him last month. He wanted to work here, so he sent his resume, and we conducted a phone interview. He was quite eager, so I hired him on the spot," Henry explained with a smile. "Wait a minute. What do you mean we don't approve of this without our consent?" My parents objected. "That's why we're glad you came. Please sign here to approve," Jennifer requested. What I finally understood, Henry and Jennifer knew my parents would never come unless they felt it was their own idea, so they manipulated the situation to bring them here. Originally, the money sent to you was at Fiona's request to ensure Daniel didn't live in hardship. But now that Daniel is willing to work, there's no need to send money anymore. That's why we stopped the payments," Henry stated. Of course, I had no knowledge of this, as I had left all matters of sending money to my parents to Henry and Jennifer. "I won't accept this. Daniel is exceptional. He's not like those who are useless without a college degree," Dad exclaimed, pointing at me. "Not attending college? What are you talking about? Fiona graduated from a state university," Mom said. "A state university? When did you? I have already graduated and I'm working at this hotel. What? I spoke to my parents for the first time in nearly a decade. And then, another guest entered the scene. I'm living here from today, Daniel declared in his hotel uniform, speaking curtly. Daniel. Mom covered her face in disbelief. Daniel, looking good. Is the uniform fitting well? It's fine. I look forward to working with you, Daniel replied, bowing to Jennifer. Mom tearfully confronted him. Daniel, you're a smart boy. You shouldn't be doing this kind of hospitality work meant for anyone. You're meant for more dignified work. I'm not smart. I had bad grades in high school according to Dad. And Mom, doesn't that make me useless? No, we never meant that, Dad said to Fiona, preventing her from going to college. Then I surely don't deserve to go, right? But nowadays, not going to college is this embarrassing. Then as parents, you embarrassed your own daughter by doing exactly that. How does that reflect on you? We thought you had talent and invested heavily in you. That was never my request. Each word from my parents boomeranged back to them by Daniel's quick wit. He's too quick, I thought, more adept than a seasoned comedian as my parents were left speechless. Henry added, You see, the kids have grown up far beyond what you think. But then, what were our 18 years of raising him for? How much we have done for him? Daniel retorted sharply. The same could be said for Fiona, how much she suffered due to your selfishness. Bravo, Daniel ended. I was grateful to Daniel for voicing everything I wanted to say. I couldn't have articulated it as smoothly. I'm leaving home. If you don't sign the approval, I'll expose all you've done to Fiona, to the entire neighborhood. Rumors spread fast in the countryside, and I doubt you would want that. The countryside is indeed unforgiving, where everyone knows each other, and rumors spread like wildfire. Bad rumors spread especially fast in the countryside. It's a common occurrence there, and those rumors can turn into calamities for those involved. They knew this well, living in the rural area. Let's not make more noise than necessary. Please leave, Jennifer said, with a smile that held no warmth, essentially showing them to the door. I stood protectively in front of Daniel, ready to shield him. From now on, please leave your child to us, like Jennifer. I mastered my best smile to see them off. Unbeknownst to our parents, I have been occasionally meeting and talking with Daniel since I left home. Sneaking around to see him without our parents knowing was quite a challenge. However, I was worried about my younger brother growing up under our abnormal parents. As he became older, Daniel began to realize the abnormality of our home environment. We had built a sibling bond in secret, away from our parents. That was quite the comeback, Daniel. Well done, I said to him with a smile. And Daniel replied, That was all a script from Henry. I just followed it with a bit of improvisation. Maybe you're cut out for acting, I suggested, and he left. Are you really going to work here instead of going to college? Well, I'm not good at studying and my grades were poor, so I decided to work here. Do you have something you really want to do? What do you want, Daniel? I want to become a chef. That's why I asked Henry to hire me, to learn cooking here. Ah, that makes sense. If cooking was your only interest, I knew a culinary school about 50 miles from here. Do you want to go? But school is expensive. I don't have the money. Don't worry, leave it to me. I pulled out my mobile phone and showed Daniel my bank statement. Where did you get all this money? That's what I have saved over the last 10 years. I want you to use it. I had been saving a little from my part-time jobs and hotel salary since college, anticipating a day like this might come. Let me do something sly for once, as I smiled and tapped my chest. Daniel quietly shed tears. Daniel passed the entrance exam and was admitted to the culinary school, living in a dormitory as it was too far from the hotel. After graduating, we traveled around tasting dishes at various restaurants, and now he's the chef and owner of a restaurant specializing in creative cuisine. He's truly the capable Daniel I knew, not just in cooking but also expanding his horizons in business management and consulting. He seems to be enjoying the challenging work every day, occasionally returning to the hotel to discuss cooking and new business strategies with Henry and Jennifer. One day, I would like to come back to this hotel after getting more experience, he says. Since then, my parents, shamed by their children's departure and exposed by neighborhood gossip, have fled their home. Who liked since then the information that the house is toxic? It's best to stay away. To do such a thing as selling their children, it's just awful. I don't want anything to do with them. The house is considered toxic, and they have become isolated, now living quietly somewhere else. Occasionally, they contact Henry and Jennifer, longing to hear from or see their children. You don't have children. We're taking care of them. No. But they firmly rejected. As for me, I'm still working hard every day as the front office manager. Recently, Henry and Jennifer made me an offer. How about taking over the hotel eventually? We know it's a demanding job, but we believe Fiona can handle it. Hotel manager Jennifer had aged considerably, and it's clear they both want to retire and enjoy the rest of their lives. I understand. I'll do my best to repay your kindness, I replied without hesitation. I'll need to be calm and composed considering I'll be the hotel manager one day. It's been a tiring life, but now I find each day fulfilling. I used to live so carefully not to upset my parents, but now here I am instructing employees to greet customers with a loud and cheerful voice. That's what I'm doing now. Life is really unpredictable. Whenever I see you, Fiona, you're always so beautiful and energetic. What's your secret? Customers sometimes ask this. I always respond. Perhaps it's living each